Good evening, guys. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Atik. In this session, we'll go through read aloud, describe image, and answer short question. Before we get started with our discussion, I just want to give you a couple of minutes brief on how we approach PTE and what PTE is all about and how should you be preparing. First and foremost, you'll have to watch all the lecture classes for you to get an idea about what PTE is all about, and so that you can get an in-depth knowledge on how to solve those questions, and at the same time, what strategies you need for you to do well with those particular topics, okay? Overall, there are 20 topics in PTE, and these 20 topics generate scores towards 4 different modules. You've got speaking, writing, reading, and listening. The exam itself, with regards to management of time, is divided into 3 parts. Part 1 has speaking and writing, part 2 has reading, and the last part has listening. You cannot pause the test, neither can you rewind and go back and check up, okay? So it runs its course. But as you sit down for the test, it's not like you'd have to sit down for 3 hours. After part 1 and part 2, there is an option for you to take 10 minutes break, which I recommend you to take, okay? Also, there is another fact which you need to keep in mind when it comes to PTE, and that is some of the question items generates scores towards 2 different modules. Okay, so this is what we call as transferable scoring. Now, it's a very good way, there will be a very good way for you to get a bit more idea about how things work. And we've made some information available for you. Okay, so on your Live Class portal, there's something called interactive score guide. You can play around with it and you can check up on what influences what impacts what. So take an example, let's say, if I click on the reading, you see not only just the 5 question item types that are part of the reading gets highlighted, but there is also a couple of questions under listening, plus the writing question, summarized written text, plus the read aloud. So this is what we call as transferable scoring. What this means is certain question would impact scores towards 2 different modules, okay? So one of the objectives that you must have also is to learn this connection, okay? What you also have to understand is that not all the 20 topics in PTE are equally important, okay? So these 20 topics, some questions carry more marks than the others, okay? So this works in weightages, all right? And what is that weightage is also something that will help you to prepare better so that you can use your time appropriately, okay? And you don't want to waste your time in questions that do not necessarily have higher weightages, okay? So we have all this data for you as well. So just on your portals under PT materials, when you click on PT materials and just scroll down right here, you see the scoring matrix. If you, okay, I just need to log on first. So when you log on to the that scoring matrix, you get to find out all these intricacies of how the scorings work, okay? So as you can see, these are all the questions that influences your listening score, and amongst them, repeat sentence generates or has the highest weightage. Write from dictation also has got very higher weightage, and so on and so forth, okay? So have a browse and find out all this information. And when it comes to the lecture classes, we discuss in every class certain number of questions, okay? Right now, we will be discussing read aloud, describe image, and answer short question. Before I start my discussion, does anyone have any question you wanted to clear off your mind? Anyone, any question? Okay, no questions. So let's go on and let's get started, okay? So you see, the exam or the question item types actually start with read aloud, okay? But before that, in the exam, there is something called personal introduction. This is part of the exam, but this is not part of the assessment. This is not one of the 20 questions, okay? So what happens in personal introduction is it's, according to Pearson, a security measure, okay? So all you simply have to do is just introduce yourself. Say, hello, my name is Atik. I'm ready to start my test. That's more than enough. You could have said, hey, and just introduce and give a bit of personal information. We recommend students to say something rather than just keeping quiet and clicking next. It might lead to technical problems, okay? So just say something. It will be your way to, break the ice, all right? Say something and then move forward. When you start off, then obviously you start off with the speaking module. There are 5 questions on the speaking part. You've got read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, written lecture, and answer short question. Please keep in mind the entire exam's sequence of question is fixed, okay? In total, there will be about 80 to 90 questions you need to solve. So knowing and keeping the structure of the exam in your mind is very important, okay? So as you can see, the speaking section, these are the 5 questions, and that's the sequence of it. Each question would have, each question item type would have numerous questions you need to solve. For an example, to read it aloud, you'd need to solve 6 to 7 questions. We'll go ahead and start off with read aloud. As soon as you get to a read aloud question, this is how your screen is going to look like. You have some instruction written at the top, you have a time bar in the middle, and at the bottom is where there will be a passage which you'll have to read aloud, okay? Now, it's not like when you get to this screen, you will have to immediately start reading it aloud and getting yourself recorded. The system would give you a window of 30 to 40 seconds to look into the passage, prepare on it, get yourself ready, familiarize yourself with it, and then you'll have to read aloud. So there's a countdown clock, okay? Now, after the 40 seconds is over, you'll hear a beep tone, okay? A beep noise, beep. That beep tone would be the indicator that the recorder is now live and it is now time for you to start speaking up and reading aloud that passage. I want you to make your very first note right now. And that is, you will have to start reading aloud as soon as you hear that beep tone, okay? So you're preparing, and the 40 seconds is over, you hear the beep tone, beep. That means the recorder is live. It will be your time now to start reading it aloud for the purpose of being recorded. Now, why is the case? It's because if you do not speak within 3 seconds of that beep tone going off, if the system detects a silent period of more than 3 seconds, the recorder automatically shuts down. And then if you start speaking after that, even if you have the best of answers, it's not recorded, you get total 0. So start immediately, okay? Once you have started off, the system will again give you 30 to 40 seconds to read that aloud, okay? So the amount of time you got to prepare is the same time you get to read aloud also, okay? However, it does not take you the entirety of the time. It roughly takes about 2/3 of the time period. So roughly, let's say anywhere between 20 to 25, 26 seconds. That's how long it takes a student to finish reading aloud a passage. Please make a note. Your objective also is to click next as soon as you have completed your response. So start immediately, click next immediately as well, okay? Do not wait for the system to take you to the next question, because if once you have finished your answer, the system will again wait till the entire 40 seconds, then it would move on to the next question. But if you do not click next and you keep your mic live, the system might think that you still have more things to say, or it will pick up noises from the students who are doing tests around you, okay? So that might lead to some technical problems. Well, simple enough, start immediately, click next immediately. And that's it. That's how the read aloud task works. You will be reading aloud 6 to 7 read aloud questions. Is everyone clear with the task format? Is everyone okay? Any questions? Okay, no questions.
No, all good.
So how does the question get marked? That's something we need to really understand. Well, to best approach, learn, and find out how PTE works, you will have to understand how the marking criteria works, okay? How does the system assess your work? Well, for read aloud or for any speaking tasks for that matter, each of the tasks would have 3 enabling skills that would generate the overall score towards or for that particular task. So for read aloud, every question item is worth 15 marks, 1, 5, 15, okay? I expect you all to take notes, so I'm not gonna say again. Each task is worth 15 marks, and these 15 marks has 3 enabling skills attached with them. So we've got content, we've got oral fluency, and we've got pronunciation. 3 enabling skills: content, oral fluency, pronunciation. These 3 enabling skills together helps generate speaking score plus reading score. Keep in mind, read aloud generates scores towards your speaking section as well as reading section. That's the connection, okay? These 2 sections gets influenced. So how does this connection work? That's something we need to know, yeah? So I did a read aloud. How much did I get for my reading? How much did I get for my speaking? Why did I get it? I'm sure you'd like to know. You want to understand, and then you want to do or perform better based on how the system works. Well, generally speaking, the way the system works, for every single answer, the system checks for 2 different aspects, okay? There are 2 things that the system is trying to find out. The number 1 aspect is going to find out is the manner of your speech, or the way you speak, okay? So the way you speak is going to be assessed with the help of how did you speak? Were you loud enough? Were you clear enough? Were you able to speak fluently? Were you able to speak at a constant speech rate? And were you able to stress words correctly? So the system is going to check for all this, okay? And the system uses oral fluency and pronunciation. These are the two sub-skills that helps the system to make these assessments, okay? So to get you good speaking score, you need to demonstrate your speaking skills with the help of oral fluency and pronunciation, okay? The second aspect is called the correctness of your speech or the correctness of your answer. So what that means is you will be reading a passage. There will be 50 to 70 words in that passage. How many words were you able to read correctly? Did you add any words? Did you replace any words? Did you mispronounce any words? So the degree of correctness of your words would impact the content score, and that content score gets distributed towards your reading module. Okay, so generally speaking, the way you speak gets you your speaking score. What you're actually saying, the degree of correctness gets you your reading score. So obviously all these three are interconnected with each other. So we do need to understand how the mechanisms work simultaneously. But before that, we will understand each and every of these three sub-skills one at a time, and then we'll make it as a final product, okay? All right, so we go ahead and start off with what is oral fluency, okay? And what is the expectation? What are the expectations of oral fluency? So guys, we might have our own interpretation of what oral fluency means. We might think that the faster we speak, the better it is for us. We got to speak constantly. We got to speak in a good rhythm. So it doesn't matter what our understanding is. We are sitting down for PTE test. So we need to find out how PTE academic body marks us based on some requirements. So these are the requirements that are set when it comes to PTE oral fluency. Guys, could you please just excuse me for 1 second? I've got a very... Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let's go ahead and let's resume. So as I was saying, we may have our own understanding of what oral fluency is, but that doesn't really matter because we have to follow the marking guideline of what Pearson's marking guideline is. So it tells us that in order for us to demonstrate that we are good with our oral fluency, we have to showcase that we are native-like user of English. So what that means is, according to Pearson, our speech shows smooth rhythm and phrasing. Okay, so we need to demonstrate that our speech is smooth. We are speaking in a very good rhythm, and we are able to speak in phrases. Okay, these are the core requirements. All right, that's what we need to demonstrate. While we are trying to do that, there are certain things that we are not allowed to do, or if we do that, they reduce our oral fluency scores. So if you look into the second sentence, it tells us that there are no hesitations, no repetitions, no false starts, or non-native phonological simplification. So guys, before we get along what to do, let's talk about what not to do. Okay, so what not to do is, as you are reading aloud and you're getting yourself recorded, you cannot hesitate. You cannot use these filler sounds, okay, mumbling sounds, all right? You cannot repeat and correct your mistakes. Sometimes what we do is we have this tendency to repeat words. Strictly not allowed in PTE. It reduces your scores significantly. False start, what does that mean? Well, what some of our students do is they say a few words and then they say sorry, and start again. So if I say recipe for native-like responsive, recipe for native-like response. You are thinking you are correcting yourself and doing it better, but this is a computer test. This is not a human recorded, it's not human reviewed, right? So the system finds out there's a lot of overlap. They also become part of your response, but this is overlap. This makes the situation 10 times worse. So if you make a mistake, let that mistake be, just move forward. Never come back and never start from the scratch again. If you make a mistake, just let that be and move forward, okay? So you're not allowed to hesitate. You're not allowed to correct your mistake or repeat words or to false start, okay? Lastly, it says non-native phonological simplifications, not allowed. Not allowed, non-native phonological simplifications. Do you know what that means? Any idea?
No.
It simply means you cannot read or speak in a very oversimplified manner. Okay, so take an example. If I ask you, what's your full name? Please answer me in full sentence. Okay, what's your name?
My name is Sarjan.
So I asked this gentleman right here, what's your name? He says, my name is Sarjan. Fair enough, ask me the same question.
What's your name?
My name is Atik. Feels a bit weird, no? It feels a bit weird, no? Because the way English language works is you've got to speak in connected speech. My name is Atik. That's how it should be. My name is Atik. If I say it in this way, it sounds weird, right? How is your day, Sachin? Do you feel good? Are you okay? Are you understanding everything that I am saying? It sounds awkward, right?
Yes.
Every single word in English. You can understand each and every word, but that's not how the language itself works. The words are supposed to be grouped together, right? That's exactly what non-native phonological simplifications mean. So when you are reading aloud and when you are reading it loudly, yes, you have to be clear, but that does not mean recipe for native like response, fluency factor, no hesitations, no repetitions. You cannot read it that way. It has to be grouped together. Your words would have to be connected with each other because that's how English language is. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, what we will do right now is before talking about what are the things we should do, let's take care of these things that whilst we are doing read aloud, we are not supposed to repeat words, correct or mistake, or mumble and hesitate. Okay, so I'm going to provide you with a passage. I'll give you some time to prepare. And then I'm going to give you some time to prepare. And then we will all do a read aloud together. Okay? Yes.
How loud should we speak? Like very loud or?
How loud do you want to speak?
It's a normal.
Tell me. How loud do you want to speak?
If it's silence, then normally.
Normal. That's it. You've just answered your question. You have to speak at a normal loudness. It's not a whisper aloud. It is not a shout aloud. It is read aloud. Aloud simply means loud enough, not shout. Aloud and shout is a different story, okay? Aloud means audible, normal, okay? All right, back to the discussion here, guys. So here is the question. I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question just after this, okay? So take yourself 35 seconds. Hold your question, I'll answer your question. You have 35 seconds to prepare, and then we will all do a read aloud together and I'll answer your questions.
Yellow, yellow is the most often color. People lose their temper more often in yellow rooms and babies will cry more. The reason may be that yellow is the hardest color on the eye, so it can overpowering in overresearch. Yeah.
Okay, so as I said, we will all do a read aloud together. So for those of you who are joining me online, can you all please unmute yourself? Right. So let's all of us, we will start together. Okay, I will give you a cue. I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. When you hear that go, you start reading aloud. Okay. So here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yellow is the most optimistic color. Yet surprisingly, people lose their
often in rows and babies will cry more.
Maybe that yellow is the hardest
Yellow is dark color on the eye. It can be overpowering if overused.
Overused.
All right. Good job, guys. Thank you for participating. So first and foremost, I don't think so there were any difficult words in this passage. The sentences are really short with even punctuations. I don't think so there would have been any places where you'd need to hesitate. Now, before I go and discuss strategies, there is one thing that you have to do by default. That is, the rule of English states, and this is not even a PT rule, this is rule of English. The rule of English is you start and you pause at punctuations. Do you understand? You see comma and full stop? The rule is you have to pause there. That is the rule. Otherwise, you are not meaningfully conveying the information. So yellow is the most optimistic color. Surprisingly, people lose their tempers more often in yellow rooms and babies will cry more. What you cannot do is yellow is the most optimistic color, yet surprisingly people lose their tempers more often in yellow rooms and babies will cry more in them. The reason may be that. You cannot do that. Do you understand?
Yes.
So it is a given rule of English that you pause at commas and full stop. Okay. So don't even wait for me to tell you that. Okay. You have to execute that. The next thing, of course, as we said, is that you've got to make sure that you're loud enough and you're non-hesitant. Okay. Is everyone clear with these expectations? Can you please tell me, do you have any questions now? Are the questions already answered or do you have any further questions?
No.
I have one question, Mr. Atik.
Go ahead.
Regarding the type of mic during practicing, it can affect the quality of the voice?
Sure, it can. Sure.
Yes.
It can. Well, you're talking about your practice or you're talking about, you're talking about practice?
No, I mean now we have normal headsets, right?
Yes.
So in during practicing, right? Maybe we lose some marks because of the quality of the mic, or we should purchase a special type of mic during practicing.
That this is very interesting. So this is the reason why we have arranged for Live Class Portal speaking feedback, so that a human reviewer can assess your work. Okay, we'll talk about this. I'll come back to, is this Ramesh who asked this question? Yeah. Ramesh, we'll have an in-depth discussion about this right at the end, okay, about the scenario, because it is a scenario. We'll talk about this scenario of the usage of mic and what tools do we need to use for us to get assessed. Okay, don't worry about that. We'll talk about it just in a second. Any other questions, guys?
No. Sorry, I think can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, can you like put a finger on the screen while
yes,
talking?
You can. Yes, you can. Yes,
okay.
You can. You can pull the monitor closer to you as well in the exam. Okay, now, as I was saying, this is a very easy passage. Easy words, no difficult vocabularies, sentences are short. This is an exam question, ladies and gentlemen, but please don't expect this in the exam. If you get it in the exam, it's your birthday. You're lucky. Okay, your life is only going to get a little bit more difficult than this. Okay, so if in the next question you come across any difficult words, you might hesitate, but we already decided we cannot hesitate. We already made a promise to ourselves. We cannot hesitate, we cannot mumble. So what can be done? There needs to be a way by which we can avoid that hesitation, right? So we did have the opportunity, that preparation time that you got, what you do, the system does not know because the recorder is not live. It is only when the recorder is live is how the system finds out if you have any problems or not. Because during the preparation time, you can do anything. So this is your strategy number one. Ladies and gentlemen, please make a note of this strategy. This is the most important strategy. If you do not follow this strategy, I really get upset. Okay? And that is, use your preparation time in the best possible way. During the preparation time, read aloud the passage and read it aloud exactly as how you would have done during the actual read aloud. When you are serious during the preparation time and you read it aloud, thinking that the recorder is live, that's when you are in that right mindset and you may just come across or you may just hesitate somewhere. That's it. You just found out. You just found out where you would have had any problems with, okay? Did anyone in this class watch the movie Minority Report? Anyone? Does anyone know? Tom Cruise Minority Report? No one? Doesn't matter then. Okay. So that's what the idea is, okay? So you find out your problem even before it becomes a problem. Well, it only becomes a problem when the system finds out you doing that, yeah? So we will use the preparation time to read it aloud and then find out if we have any issues or not. Am I clear? So go ahead and unmute yourself, all of you. All right. Apriyanto, Asmita, Bhupal, Cherry, Danielle. Guys, I'm not going to send you some personal requests next time if you really want my feedback, because that's what you get if you're joining Live Class Portal sessions. I get to listen to your response and give you some meaningful and valuable feedback. I cannot obviously force you. So here we go, guys. All of us together in 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
Unique characterized shopping environment is that allow the vendor highly interactive undescribable from interactive in their purchase decision.
Okay, so some of us, we may have already found out some of the place we may have had any issues with. There we go. To prepare, it doesn't take you 40 seconds. It takes you about 25 seconds maybe. Yeah, you have extra 10-15 seconds. Use it. Go back and visit that place where you may have, you had a tongue twister. Created interfaces with the highly with highly interactive features, go back and revise that phrase or that particular word you may have had issues with. Is it making sense? Hopefully it is. Now, the second way, Second time, all of you again, unmute in 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
Unique characteristics of online shopping environments is that they allow vendors to create highly interactive features. Undesirable home of interactivity from consumer perspective include implementation of assist shoppers in their purchase decisions by customizing the shopping environment to their needs and individual preferences.
Ask yourself, does it not feel a bit more relaxed when you read it the second time around? 100%, it feels a bit more comfortable on your eyes, yeah? So guys, this is a very important feature you have to follow through, which is you prepare loudly during the prep time, okay? Now, one problem solved, which is I'm more comfortable, but there is another problem. You see, the sentences are very long. This is a typical exam question. So when the sentences get long, give me 1 second, please. I will explain everything. 1 second, please. If you have any questions, for those of you who are online, anytime I tell you or ask you, do you have any questions, please ask me then, okay? Because there is a lag. I don't want you to distract. All right, as I was saying, we are now familiar with the script because we are reading it aloud the second time. There is another problem, which is the sentences are relatively long. Now, the rule of English is that we have to start and we have to pause at punctuations, yeah? Which is fine. But then again, what about the sentences that are so long? Do we start reading it so fast so that we can quickly start and then come at a full stop? Well, in that case, that's not what ideal scenario is. Do we try to read as many words under one breath and kill ourselves? Like, do I do a unique characteristic of online shopping environments is that if I do this, would you understand everything that I say? If I all of a sudden start speaking in this way nonstop and all of a sudden do you think everything, you will understand everything? It wouldn't be understandable. Okay, that would be problematic. On the surface, it may appear to be like it is fluent because you're not hesitating, you're not mumbling, yeah? But you wouldn't be understandable. So a lot of the words could not be clear. That's number one. Number two is, would you be reading so many words under one breath? And if you're reading it under one breath, you might sound monotonous, flat-toned. A unique characteristic of online shopping environments is that they allow vendors to create digital interfaces with highly interactive. You will be monotonous. So if you are monotonous, you wouldn't be able to stress words appropriately, so your pronunciation scores would be poor. Now, there is a solution to it. The solution to it. But before I get to the solution, I just want you to also understand that Pearson strictly requires you to be smooth. Pearson wants you to sound effortless. You know what effortless means? It doesn't sound like you're pressurizing yourself to read that, okay? Lastly, it has to be naturally placed. So you have to speak at a constant and a natural speech rate so that you can have a very smooth and a rhythmic response. Now, as I've already told you, if you speak too fast, if you are rushing, then you will not be clear. So what can be done? It's a very simple solution. This is your strategy number 2, guys. You will have to integrate phrasing into your response, okay? You will have to integrate phrasing into your response. So what's a phrase? Before we get to what a phrase is, what's a sentence? A sentence is a collection of words which when read or spoken makes complete sense. A phrase is a collection of words within a sentence which when read or spoken also makes some sort of sense, okay? So the idea is, as we are preparing, during the preparation time, as we are preparing, and if we come across difficult words, longer sentences, we can break that longer sentence into small, meaningful chunks or phrases and take a quick natural pause in between them. All right. So this is also, in fact, the tip provided by Pearson. Pearson also suggests and indicates that, hey guys, if you get longer sentences, why don't you break it out into even spaces, into chunks, into meaningful phrases, and take the necessary pauses on top of your punctuations. Okay. For an instance, I have this question. I might be inclined to read a lot of words under one breath. As we progress into the 21st century, communications are becoming faster and faster. I just read the whole thing under one breath. I might struggle. Think of millions of different media images you are bombarded with every day. Now, if I read everything under one breath, I might sound flat-toned. So what do we need to do? Well, I have broken down this passage into several phrases or chunks for you, okay? And I have color-coded them for you separately. Each each color-coded word, yeah? So each color code signifies a single unit, which you'll have to read together. And once you have completed, listen to me first, please. Don't practice, listen to me first. So once you have completed a set of words or one color code, then you take a natural pause. Then you start off with another one. Now, the rule of English is you must pause at commas and full stop, half a second and breathe. That you have to do. You can also use the gaps in between phrase also to take a quick breath so that you can breathe easy, naturally, and you can sound very rhythmic. Now, the pauses in between phrases are not as long as punctuations, okay? They are much shorter than the punctuations, okay? So I will demo this for you so that you can pay attention, okay? As we progress into the 21st century, communications are becoming faster and faster. Think of millions of different media images you are bombarded with every day. It is as important now to be able to read and make sense of those images as it has been to be able to read ordinary text. So you see, the benefit now is that I get to breathe a lot more so that I can be rhythmic and I can continue reading without any hesitation. In fact, this is your remedy and solution for your hesitations. Usually students hesitate because they run out of breath, okay? Not necessarily because of difficult words, trust me on that, okay? So are we all on the same page? Do you understand what needs to be done? Hopefully you are. Please unmute yourself, all of you. Please understand. Sound mute, God no. Okay. All right. So please keep in mind, we are not in a challenge situation whereby the faster and I finish, yes, I'm the first one. It's not that. It is about rhythm, okay? So read it in rhythm. Now, as I'm trying to also achieve rhythm, please do not oversimplify the words in a single color code, okay? So what I don't want is, as we progress into the 21st century, communications are becoming faster and faster. Think of millions of different images you are bombarded with every day. You are breaking it into phrases, but the words within that phrase, it's too fast. I cannot understand. Neither do you want to go. As we progress into the 21st century, communications are becoming faster. I will sleep. So group them and speak it at a natural pace. As we progress into the 21st century, communications are becoming faster and faster. Okay, so here we go, guys. All of us prepare loudly in 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
As we progress into the 21st century, communications are becoming faster and faster. Millions of different media images every day. Are bombarded with every day. It is as important to be able to read as it has been to be able to read ordinary text.
I am 100% sure that 80% of you had a bit of a tongue twister in the last phrase. Go back and read that again.
As we progress into the 21st century, communications are becoming faster and faster.
How you use your Don't read the same passage twice. Don't read the same passage twice. You prepare it once loudly, then the second time, if you have any spare time, go back and fix the problematic phrases or the sounds, okay? All right, here we go. Confident now in 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
As we progress into the 21st century, communications are becoming faster and faster. Think of millions of different media images bombarded every day. As important now to be able to read and make sense of those images has been to be able to read ordinary text.
Okay, well done. So if this is also the benefit of doing the lecture class together with everyone, is that if you're the very first person to finish it, don't be too happy because maybe you're rushing. If you're the last person to finish it, try and see if you can catch up with everyone, okay? We want to be in the mean. One more question, guys. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, start.
The semiconductor industry has been able to improve the performance of electric systems for more than 4 decades by making even smaller devices. However, this approach will soon encounter both scientific and technical limits. This is why industry is exploring a number of alternative device technologies.
Number of alternative devices technologies.
Okay, breathe easy, relax. The last 3 seconds, this is the reason why I always say 3, 2, 1, go. It's for your benefit. So the last 3 seconds, you just relax and breathe and get ready. Okay, so here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
The semiconductor industry has been able to improve the performance of electric systems for more than 4 decades by making even smaller devices. However, to encounter technical limits. This is why the industry is exploring a number of alternative device technologies.
Number of alternative device technologies.
Awesome, guys. Look, is everyone on board with what's the expectation so far? I need you guys to prepare loudly during the prep time, and I need you guys to work on reading it in phrases, groups of words or chunks of words together, so that you can sound rhythmic. Yeah, so that you can sound rhythmic and you can sound evenly paced. Okay, so those were the expectations for fluency. Now let's quickly talk about the expectation for content. Yeah, all the words. So guys, every single word on the text is content, and all those words and the correctness of all the words that you read dictates your reading section scores. Now, would you like to find out some important information about the level of contribution of read aloud towards your reading module? Do you want to find out? So you obviously, if you look into the reading scoring matrix, you see, if you are looking to get good reading score, it is not other reading section questions, but read aloud is where the highest score is coming out from. 30% of your reading section scores comes out from read aloud. Now, this is something that is not clearly visible on your scorecard, because your scorecard does not show you the content score. It just shows you the reading score. But the sad news is, or let's say the interesting news is, I wouldn't say sad, but the interesting news is that it can sometimes be very deceiving, whereby you may end up getting very good scores in speaking, but that doesn't necessarily mean you will be getting good reading module score. Okay, because your speaking scores are generated on the basis of your fluency, on the basis of your pronunciation. Your reading scores are generated on the basis of how many words were you able to correctly read aloud. Okay, now I am going to read aloud the same passage for you once again. Okay, so just listen to me, all right? Just listen to me. That same passage that you just read, the semiconductor one. Okay, so just listen to me. The semiconductor industry had been able to improve performance of electric system for more than 4 decades by making ever smaller device. However, this approach will soon encounter both the scientific and technical limit, which is why the industry is exploring a number of alternative device technology. Now, you tell me, did I sound too bad? Was I okay with my fluency? Were you able to understand and follow what I was reading? Good stuff, right? How would you give me, what do you think my speaking score is? Or how is my speaking overall? Good, right? Good presentation, good fluency, constant continuity. Yeah, you're right. I would, yeah, give me some good score, yeah, by the way, right? So overall, with regards to speaking, there weren't much issues there because I was doing well with my presentation. But let me do the same read aloud again. And I want you to follow what I'm reading. Okay, so keep a track of my progress. Listen to this. The semiconductor industry had been able to improve performance of electric system for more than 4 decades by making ever smaller device. However, this approach will soon encounter both the scientific and technical limit, which is reason why the industry is exploring a number of alternative device technology. Now you tell me. You can see in your naked eye, right? There are a lot of content errors I made. Now I did the same thing before as I just did now, but my speaking was good. So the system is not necessarily going to be penalizing me on my speaking because my fluency score pronunciation is good. So where does it penalize me for? Content. So eventually, where do I get the hit? Reading scores. Now I can already tell you guys, and please listen to me carefully. It is not the difficult words that reduces your reading scores from read aloud, not the difficult words. It is the easy words. The type of mistakes that I made is exactly what our students make also, which is either they forget to say the plurals, or they add or the there instead of they are saying the, and just instead of, let's say, for example, I have, let's say, exploring, and I end up saying explore. Yeah, this is a typical mistake that a student makes, whereby these silly errors are same as if you do not know the pronunciation of a word, same error. So if you miss out on saying, instead of has, you say have, same mistake, 0 for this word, same penalty as you not knowing pronunciation of semiconductor. Okay, so no word, no content word on a read aloud is less important than the other. All the words are equally important, okay? Now I can also tell you why the students make these mistakes. Do you know why? The major issue or the major reason is lack of correct way to breathe, lack of proper breathing, or lack of breathing, let's say, at a constant and a natural space. If you do not breathe, what happens? Your brain is lacking air now. If you're not taking air, the blood does not pump. The oxygen does not pump, the blood does not pump, it does not reach your brain. If the air does not reach your brain, if the blood does not reach your brain goes into panic mode. If you go into panic mode, what do you do? I need to take again, right? So that's exactly what's happening when it comes to read aloud, whereby some of the students, even though I phrased it right now, even though they can see yellow color, I have to finish and then I have to take a breath or at least pause and start again. Half of the students are doing. The semiconductor industry has been able to improve the performance of electric systems, which is more than, you're still doing that. Now, I can already tell you, this is the reason why you will be making content error. But I've already made life easy for you. Because if you read it in phrases, the benefit you get is you get to catch a quick breath. Now, it is not like phrasing means you can pause anywhere, okay? A phrase has to be on its own meaningful. That is the reason why the phrases that I have made for you is also meaningful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've got to work on during your practice round also. When you're preparing by yourself, you break down a flat, let's say you'll get this one, yeah? So you, on your mind or physically draw on your laptop screen a phrase or phrases so that you can read it smoothly and correctly, okay? So this is something that you really need to be careful of. The second reason is if you are not serious. This is a genuine reason. Some of the students, they are not serious enough what's in front of them. They're like, oh, it's very good. Their English. It is not about your correctness of English. Your English is very good. But my English is also very good. But what if I start making mistakes subconsciously? So we always be very attentive, okay? Please be very attentive. And this is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, we have live class portal speaking feedback sessions, whereby I'm teaching you or I'm showing you how to read it in phrases. I'm also going to verify for you. And during the feedback session, if I tell you that, look, man, you are missing out on plurals, I'm trying to save 5 marks for you. You genuinely get to be more careful so that you can breathe easy, okay? Now let's discuss what should we be doing with words that we are not familiar with or difficult vocabularies, because we may not know every single word. In fact, that is not the expectation either. We will definitely come across some of the words that you may not know the pronunciation of, okay? So this is your strategy number 3. You can write it down. So during the preparation time, when you come across words that you're not familiar with, you stop right there. Stop. You might have problem with some words, I might not have. I might have some problems which you might not have problems. So when when I'm preparing loudly and I come across a word that I don't know, I have to stop and fix the pronunciation of that word. Because if I guess the pronunciation and I end up producing a non-English sound, then I not only lose my content score, I also lose my speaking score because it is non-English sound. Similarly, obviously guessing is not allowed, so that otherwise it will be non-English sound. I cannot skip it either, okay? Some of us are thinking, Atik, what if I just skip it? Sure, you can skip it. Maybe you will be able to maintain your fluency score. Yeah, maybe. What about your reading score? You don't need reading? You might get 79+ in speaking. What about reading? Because every single content mark from read aloud is equally important, okay? Especially when we know that fill in the blanks is very difficult and fill in the blanks requires a lot of practice and time and effort. Reading this and fixing this is very easy. And that is during the preparation time, if you come across any difficult vocabulary, break that word down to its syllable parts and then rejoin the syllable sounds and repeat the word 2-3 times so that you can be fluent. Take an example. Let's say I'm reading this. Break the word to syllable parts. Rejoin and repeat. Example, photosys, should I guess? Don't do that. So break it down into syllable parts. A syllable sound has one vowel sound in it, okay? So you see guys, what is this? PHO is 4, everyone knows. To, sin, the, sis. Photosynthesis, photosynthesis, photosynthesis. So say it 2-3 times. So prepare and fix it. There is no shame in you stopping and fixing the sound and then moving forward. There is no shame. I don't know all the words, right? So as a demonstration, let's say I'm preparing for this, okay? And I'm reading, Australians do speak English. However, for some tourists and travelers, it can be difficult to understand the slang. Also, the links between Australian and American English were seen to be very tenuous, very tenuous. At least some some colloquialisms in Australian English do not exist in other types of English. Do you see what I just read right there? Put my hands up and I said, okay, I don't know, let me break it down, say it 2-3 times so that I can achieve flow. Now, some of you might say, okay, Atik, but what if I say photosynthesis? Because I don't know the syllable. S-Y-N, I might say sign. You want to hear something interesting? And this is what our product of our research is. If you go and check Pearson's, let's say, research and explanation, if you are able to produce all the syllable sounds together, you will be credited for your content score, for your attempt. If you do not hesitate, you will be credited for your fluency scores also. But you will be debited or you will be penalized on your pronunciation. So your pronunciation will be a little bit down, but you are still going to get your reading score and speaking score. Balance, okay? But if you say photosys, that is a non-English sound. Doesn't matter if you are loud and clear, doesn't matter if you're not hesitating. It is a non-English sound, you'll not get anything. Okay, is everyone clear? Is everyone with me? I cannot be any loud and clear. Hopefully you are, so please unmute yourself. Let's go ahead and let's prepare loudly in 3, 2, 1, prepare.
Australians do speak English. However, for some tourists and travelers, it can be difficult to understand the slang. Also, the links between Australian and American English to be very tenuous. At least some colloquialisms in Australian English do not exist in other types of English.
Australian English do not exist in the other types of English.
Go ahead and go back and revise the words or the phrases that you may have had issues with. Still have 10 seconds.
Okay,
here we go. Once again, 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
Australians do speak English. However, for some tourists and travelers, it can be difficult to understand the slang.
So the links between Australian and American
English were seen to be very tenuous. At least some colloquialisms in Australian English do not exist in other types of English.
Awesome, guys. Is everyone with me? What needs to be done with the difficult words, guys? Is everyone clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's move on. Let's move on and let's talk about pronunciation expectations, because this is quite important. And this is where, let's say, there could be a lot of discrepancies. Okay. Students usually understand how to fix a difficult sound or how to adjust their fluency, but pronunciation is where because it's a bit wider range. Okay. So if you look into Pearson's marking criteria, there are quite a few number of expectations from Pearson. The first expectation is all vowels and consonants are to be produced in a manner that is easily understood by regular speakers of the language. So what does that mean? Well, first and foremost, English, written English is constructed with the help of vowels and consonants. There are 26 vowels and consonants, yeah? But spoken English has what's known as vowels and consonant sounds. Now, it doesn't matter in which accent you say it, all the vowels and the consonant sounds have to be produced in a manner that is easily understood by regular speakers of the language. So our students, depending on what backgrounds we come from, may have problems in this place. Okay, again, depending on what backgrounds we come from. So take an example. If I go back and say, what is this word, guys?
English. English.
Half of you are saying English instead of English. Okay, the word is English, but no matter how hard I am trying, I'm still saying English. No, it's not English, it's English. English, English. Now, do you think this is an accent problem? No. You're not able to produce the sha syllable sound. That is the problem. And this is where we also can help you, okay? So these are individual problems. So we do have pronunciation sessions. We have speaking content recognition sessions whereby these sort of individual mispronunciations are addressed, okay? Again, these are use cases, okay? Use cases, different students. I'm not saying everyone's gonna have the problem, but if you do, we gotta work on it to fix it, because that same problem will have lots of other problems. That sa-sha sound, yeah? Instead of English, you're saying English. So you might end up saying sop instead of shop. Instead of shower, you might say sour. You see, I'm trying to say shower, but I don't know how to say it. I end up saying sour. Now, sour is also an English word, right? You see, the system might consider this as a correct pronunciation, but you're losing your content score also because of mispronunciation. Okay, so again, this is what vowels and consonant sounds are. We need to check you individually, and that's why Live Class Portal speaking feedback sessions comes in play, okay? All right, the second expectation says the speaker uses assimilation and deletions appropriate to continuous speech. Now, this is also another important issue, which is associated with syllable sounds, okay? So, what am I trying to write? There are 3 different words. Read it together.
Can't see it.
Can't see it?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just minimize the thing.
Is as was.
So
what am I trying to say? What did I write?
Is as was.
Was. Right? Half of you or some of you are saying each, edge, watch. Sound is supposed to be is.
As was.
Yes, it is supposed to sound like a buzz sound. Is. This is as.
As was.
Okay. This is a lecture class. This is not this is a lecture class. Do you see? Our ability to assimilate this sound into this sound is what's called assimilation. Okay. Now, if I say each, that is a big mispronunciation. It's not that you don't know the word. You know the word, but the sound is coming out wrong. So this sound is associated with the z sound. Okay, z sound in phonetics. So we have a phonetic session for you where we discuss the correctness of the sound and how to produce them. And also we've got the feedback sessions where we can sit down with you. We also have one-to-one consultation. So we get all the help for you, but we need to sit down one-to-one and check out. Okay. Just telling you that go ahead and read it in phrases, and stress words appropriately may not be enough because as you can see, yeah, individual issues. Now, what is a deletion of a sound? Let's talk about that also, because again, some other demography has this kind of issue. So let's say, what am I trying to read?
Worked.
What if I work it?
Worked.
That is a mispronunciation, right? So again, some students, depending on what backgrounds we come from, might have said work it. Yeah, this does happen, okay? So again, individual case scenario, not a generic one, individual. We need to find out whether you're able to assimilate the sound correctly or delete the sound appropriately or not, okay? But the last aspect which is stress is placed correctly in all words, and sentence level stress is fully appropriate. This is how you approach read aloud. On your approach, it depends on your approach. Okay, so let's talk about stress level on a word. Okay, on a word level, stress on a word level. Okay, so let me just delete this for you. I'm just going to stop share. What's this word, guys?
Pool.
Pool.
So what's this word then?
Pool.
If this is pull and this is also pull, both of them sounds the same. If you say this is pull and this is also pull, again they sound the same.
No, that's
right? But this is a short vowel sound, pull. This is a long vowel sound, pool. You get it? Now, if I speak like a zombie, yeah? If I speak like a zombie, oh, I need to pull and push it. Let's go to the swimming pool. The system would think both of the time that I'm trying to say pull because I'm flat toned. You see the difference there? Do you see?
Yeah.
You can also make this mistake if you are considering yourself as a Usain Bolt. Yeah, you're hurrying up. You're reading too fast. When you do that, that's when you are not able to stress what's appropriate. All vowels and consonants are produced in a manner that is easily understood by the... If I speak this speed, do you think I would be able to stress words appropriately?
No.
Necessarily. So,
can't see.
I know, I'm just writing.
The board is just too tiny.
I know, allow me just 1 second. Even if you can see, you will not be able to understand my handwriting. So what I'm trying to highlight is these two words. This is this.
Yes.
These. This is these, yeah? Now, listen to me. This is my book, these are my books. Would you understand or can you distinguish between these two?
No.
Hide them and I say, this is my book, these are my book.
Maybe.
I have to stress this word, maybe. The system doesn't run on maybe system. So I have to read, this is my book, these are my books. You get it? So that is stress on a word level. So guys, what I'm trying to teach you here is, please read the word and stress the word according to the merit of the word. Do not be flat toned, neither do you rush, okay? Stress words according to what the word's structure is. Now let's talk about stress on a sentence level. This is more important because this is where, let's say it's a hit and miss situation. Take an example. I have this small sentence right here, okay? I have the very small sentence right here, and if I'm flat tone, yeah, and I read, they lived in Hong Kong. When you speak, try to link the words within phrases, do not emphasize grammar, words such as prepositions. And if I start reading in a flat tone, monotonous tone, they see they lived in Hong Kong. If I do they lived in Hong Kong, the system thinks I'm reading they lived in Hong Kong. The rule of English, ladies and gentlemen, is that you do not stress at helping words, grammar words. The rule of English is you stress words according to their merit, or you stress words which are to be emphasized, powerful words such as adjectives or verbs. Okay, not articles, not determinants. So I must read, they lived in Hong Kong. You get it? They lived in Hong Kong. I could have done that also. Cannot do they lived in Hong Kong. All right, no flat tone response. That's number one. Number one is you do not stress on helping words. Number two, this is what needs to be done, and this is Pearson's advice as well. And this is where a lot of our students make mistake with is that they are not able to adjust the tonality. Please make a note. The rule is as you begin to speak every sentence, your tone has to continue to rise, okay? And as you get to a full stop, it is a must for you to drop your tone. You cannot be flat tone, neither can you raise your tone, okay? So as a demonstration, okay? As a demonstration, let's say I have this passage. I cannot go, business school admissions officer said the new drive to attract younger students was in part the result of a realization that they had inadvertently limited their applicant pool by requiring several years work experience, talented students. I cannot do experience, Why can I not do that? Because there is a full stop. What do I need to do? I need to drop my tone by requiring several years work experience. Now, knowingly or unpurposefully, a lot of our students make mistake with this one. Okay, that's number one, tonality. Number two is also within the passage, stress the words that require stress, such as long vowel and short vowel sound. So you see, pool, this is long sound. Secondly, also is the buzzword. So let's say result, it's a buzzword. Drive, buzzword. Nouns, law and policy, buzzword. Yeah. So as a demonstration, business school admissions officers said the new drive to attract younger students was in part the result of a realization that they had inadvertently limited their applicant pool by requiring several years work experience. Talented students who might otherwise have gone to business school instead opted for a law or policy degree because they were intimidated by the expectation of work experience. Yeah, you don't have to copy me. You don't have to do anything, but basically just make sure that the tonality is adjusted. Don't speak like a zombie. Business school admissions officer said the new drive to attract younger students. Please don't do that. Neither do you go on a singing module, okay? Business school admissions officers said the new drive to attract. Don't do forcefully intonate, okay? Unmute yourself, guys. Let's give it a shot. Quickly, quickly, quickly. We're running out of time. Quickly.
This is school admission.
School administration officer said
the new drive
this is school admission officer.
What school admissions officers said the new drive to attract younger students was in part the result of the realization that they had inadvertently limited
because
their
they
applicants
by the expectation
by
of work
requiring
experience.
several years work experience. Talented students who might otherwise have gone to business school instead opted for a law or policy degree because they were intimidated by expectation of work experience.
They were intimidated.
Intimidated, yeah, not intimidated.
Intimidated.
All right, here we go. Once again, all of you together. 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
Business school admissions officers said the new drive to attract younger students was in part the result of realization that they had inadvertently limited their applicant by requiring several years work experience. Students who might otherwise have gone to business opted for a law or policy degree because they were intimidated by the expectation of work experience.
They were intimidated by the expectation of work experience.
Okay, so as I said already before, if you are someone who has finished the very last, try and catch up with everyone, okay? So that otherwise you are reading it a bit too slow. Let's try one more, guys. 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
The core of the problem was
the immense disparity between the countries'
capacity
of people to consume
And the ability of
productive techniques
and after the war, even after the war, when the output
to beyond the purchasing capacity
US farmers and wage
purchasing capacity of farmer and wage owners.
Okay, please don't go sleepy right at the end. Farmers and wage earners. The system can detect that, okay? The system can detect that. Did we prepare or this was the last time? Was this the prep time or the second time? Okay.
It's the second time.
All right, here we go. One last time. Give it your best performance. 3, 2, 1, read aloud.
The core of the problem was the immense disparity between the country's productive capacity, ability of the people to consume actions in productive techniques during and after the war, the output was reached,
And after the war, right, the output of
farmers and
farmers and wage owners.
Awesome, guys. Well done. I'm really proud of your efforts because you are understanding and following what I am asking you to do. Now it's a matter of putting things into practice, okay? Now, do you guys all understand how the mechanism works and what needs to be done? You're all familiar with the strategies, guys? Any questions? I hope as you progressed, some or all of your queries were answered by themselves, right? Now, the next issue is, give me 1 second. Now that we know what needs to be done, the next thing is, of course, is to start integrating it and start practicing the way we've just approached it. Yeah, because This is something that we may be just doing since today. So it may require a bit of time and practice so that you become natural. But please listen to me. I do not recommend you to use any kind of online softwares to practice any speaking tasks, okay? That's not what my recommendation is. Do you know why? Because softwares that are available, including iWAS for speaking, we're just talking about speaking here, okay? We're just talking about speaking here. Softwares are very biased, okay? They're very biased and they're very one-dimensional. They don't give a true picture. They're the true picture, okay? And it may be very misrepresenting because you might either get some false hope and false belief that you're on the right page, or you might get demotivated because the software is giving you very poor scores. Now let's say I taught you something and then you're using some software and you're getting very poor score, yeah? Are you all of a sudden going to say, no, Atik is wrong and let me go and pay $500 and go to some other institution? Are you going to do that? Do you think whatever I'm teaching you or advising you is something that does not work? Because whatever I'm advising you, it is bound to give you maximum score. Maximum. I'm not even telling you, do this much is enough. No, whatever I'm advising you, this is for maximum score. For all of you, not just one of you, okay? But the softwares, as I said, they are very one-dimensional, very biased, not reliable source to get feedbacks. That is the reason why I need you to do a couple of things. First and foremost, let me just share the screen with you. And this applies for all the speaking tasks, okay? What I need you to do is you can jump to your Live Class portal and under PT materials, we have lots of exam questions uploaded here. You see, can just read aloud. So this is a question bank. There are hundreds and hundreds of repeated read aloud exam questions that you can find here. Try 30, 40 of them. Try to integrate phrasing, try to adjust your breathing, try to adjust your expression, try to adjust your stress level and all that. Try it by yourself. Once you have practiced a few questions and you want to have things verified, we have made speaking feedback available for you in lots of ways. So every day, Monday to Thursday, every day, we have 2 different speaking feedback sessions. One's 1 o'clock to 2, the other's 4 o'clock to 5. On Friday evenings after 6 to 8, we either have, we discuss phonetics or we discuss about the sounds, whether you're able to produce those sounds correctly or not. On Saturday evening, we have again another session. So literally every day, we have speaking feedback sessions for you. Literally every day. Okay. Get personal help. Get help from instructors and get yourself assessed. If you cannot join Live Class portal sessions, if you're intensive enrolled, you can get one-to-one help and book and check for yourself. Having said all that, you can use softwares to practice. Okay, you can use iWAS for you to practice, but please don't look into the feedback. Okay, don't look into the feedback. Just use it to practice. Okay, for your convenience. But as I said,
just a quick question.
Why does everyone interrupt me when I'm speaking? Okay, so the questions are already there. You use those materials for you to prepare and then get all the personal help you need. Okay, all right. Now the floor is yours. Please ask your questions.
Sorry to interrupt you. The speaking feedback, is it? Can I do it online? Like?
Yeah, totally. Just like the way you are joining now. Live Class portal, everything is online.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. Somebody else also had a question. Please ask your question now.
Regarding the type of the mic.
Yes. So that's exactly, Ramesh. I'm coming back to that point. Thank you for bringing it up. You see, the kind of mic that you use and the device that you're using, the app, the platform that you're using, all these play significant role in actually getting the right kind of assessments. Okay. So if you're using any third-party software, you're using, let's say, a kind of mic that is not appropriate. So these all play some degree to a degree role in you not getting the right kind of feedback. That's the reason why I said, please do not use any software. Me, on the other hand, I can make those assessments for you and you can rely on the human review. If you're not loud enough, I'll tell you, hey Ramesh, I cannot hear you clearly. That much I can do. The software is not going to do that. Software is simply going to give you 20. So you don't necessarily know why is that the case, right? So that's the reason why I would recommend to have, let's say, human review rather than softwares. If you come and practice on the lab on PT Study Center Sydney. The benefit is that all our lab computers, they're exam computers. The headphone is actually Plaintonix, the ones that you use on in the exam. So at least when you come and practice on campus, you have the right kind of tools. Does that answer your question, Ramesh?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, if you still have any questions, please feel free to ask. Does anyone have any other questions regarding how should you be preparing and prepping?
Sorry, like how many minutes to finish? Like, is there any time limitation?
There aren't any specific time limitations, but roughly, generally speaking, it takes about 20 to 25, 26 seconds for a student to finish it. If you read it too fast and you finish it way too early, then maybe you may be appearing to be fluent, but you will not be understood. If you are taking too much time, 30, 32, 34, 35 seconds, the system would naturally think that you are struggling to read aloud. Okay.
Okay.
Real exam, there are many other students also.
So in a real exam scenario, it is actually a lab. Okay, you'll be actually sitting down for the test in a lab. There will be sitting literally someone sitting beside you. There is a small barrier. Obviously, you'll be wearing headphones, but be prepared to be influenced by others, or at least it will be noisy.
Reading aloud at the same time.
Everyone must start the exam together.
Then what is the probability that people can?
Can I ask a question?
Just 1 second, please. Highly unlikely. That's where you become very smart. Start immediately. Click next immediately. Okay. If you leave the mic empty, it might start going hunting. I'm not saying it will, but as I said, the system, we don't know what it does, what it doesn't, right? So we want to minimize our risks. Okay. Yes, please. Somebody had a question.
Regarding the speaking feedback sessions, okay. It will be face to face or group students.
So it will be a live class portal feedback session, but the feedback itself would be one-to-one.
So I need to book in
you don't need to
in
book
advance.
You don't need to book. Just like the way you joined this session is the way you need to join the session, but the feedback itself would be one-to-one. It will be a short feedback, but it will be one-to-one.
Saturday, on Saturday, the time of the session.
I think it's 5:30 to 6:30, I believe so. Have a look into the schedule. Okay. All right, guys, we're running out of time. If you have any questions, I'll answer them at the end of the class. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's discuss the second question for today, which is describe image. Describe image is the third question item on your speaking module. You will be solving 6 to 7 describe image questions. When you get to the first describe image question, this is how your screen is going to look like. Okay. You've got some instruction written at the top. You've got an image at the left, and you've got a timer at the right. So as soon as you get to this screen, you'll get 25 seconds to look into this image, prepare on it, find out some important points that you want to talk about. Once this 25 seconds is over, just like a read aloud, you'll hear a beep tone. Okay. Once you hear that beep tone, you will have to start describing that image. Now the system would give you a window of 40 seconds, okay, to talk about that image. But can you please make a note quickly? Your objective is to speak for 30 to 35 seconds. You want to be describing that image within 30 to 35 seconds. Why? Well, you can go beyond 35, not a problem. But, big but, what you cannot do is you cannot force the system to cut you off. Because if you continue to speak for 40 seconds, the system will automatically cut you off. That's a problem. Number one, you did not follow the instructions, so you'll be penalized. Number two, think about it. It is a requirement of English, spoken English, that your tone has to drop at the end of every sentence. So if all of a sudden the system cut me off. So did my tone drop? No. And also, I was not able to wrap up everything that I had to say. It was partial. You'll be penalized in content also. Now, the standard is 30 to 35 seconds. But let's say in 1 or 2 questions, if the information within the image is very few, there are few information, and you speak for about 25 seconds, it's not the end of the world. Okay? That's fine. But we also need to make sure that, generally speaking, our target is to speak for 30 to 35 seconds. Okay. All right. Now, what are the kind of images can we tackle? 90% of the time, it will be some kind of statistical graph. Okay. It could be a pie chart. It could be a line graph. It could be a bar graph. Histogram, it could be mixture of them. It could be, within a single image, you have one pie chart and bar graph. It could be, yeah. Or it could be some kind of process charts, yeah. Flow chart, step-by-step flow chart, or a process chart, or a life cycle. Yeah, it could be a life cycle of a plant or an animal or something, all right? It could also be some kind of map, map of a place, map of a city, map of the world, showing some figures about temperature, rainfall, so on and so forth, okay? Or it could be some kind of random image. Now, guys, you have to keep in mind, no matter what kind of image you get, what is the objective of this task? The objective of this task is to demonstrate your speaking skills, is it not? Describe image is a speaking task, yeah? So never forget that at the end of the day, your priority is to demonstrate that you are good with your speaking. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because a lot of you are first-time test takers. You have not taken PT test before. Am I right in saying that? You haven't taken. Some of you online, some of you have not taken PT test before, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Now, amongst those of you who did not take PT test before, you must have done IELTS at some point in your life. Yeah? Good. Now, in your IELTS, under writing, there was a report writing task, right? In the report writing, something similar came, right? You had like some kind of graph, yeah? And you had to write a very meaningful report on that graph. You have to compare, you have to find some important points and write a very meaningful and a logical report with some important points and make comparison, contrast and all that stuff, right? How many minutes did you have? 20 minutes. And what was the task at hand? To showcase your writing skills. Yeah? In PTE, what is the target? Is it to show my comparativeness, this and that? No, speaking skills. So please do not confuse this task with IELTS, okay? We are trying to demonstrate our speaking skills, nothing else. Not our analytical skills. You do not need to be analysts here, okay? So please keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about marking criteria. I've got a couple of good news for you. Good news number one. Describe image. Every single question is worth 15 marks. These 15 marks are divided into 3 subskills: content, pronunciation, and oral fluency. Just like read aloud. The best news is the oral fluency and pronunciation scoring is literally the same as a read aloud. Okay? In fact, whatever you learned in your read aloud, you have to copy paste it into all the other speaking tasks. Okay? So essentially the recipe is uniformity of your speech rate, uniformity of your loudness. So the way you spoke, the way you did your read aloud is the same way you have to speak in all the other tasks. Think about it. You'll be solving different kinds of questions, but you're still trying to demonstrate your speaking skills, right? So it's not like I speak in one different tone in read aloud and all of a sudden I'm speaking in a different tone in a different task, because I'm still me. Cannot do that, right? So just make sure that you follow and apply everything that you learn on read aloud, onto all the other speaking tasks, including describe. So guys, the top line, these are the top lines, yeah? No hesitation, no mumbling, stress words appropriately. You do not correct your mistakes, do not hesitate, speak smoothly and at a constant speech rate with good rhythm. Does anyone have any questions with regards to oral fluency and pronunciation? Anyone? No. The second good news is your content score does not affect any other section. Your content score stays towards your speaking module only. Now, from read aloud, we already found out that our priority to get speaking score is what? Fluency and pronunciation, right? So this is also the case here. We do not need to worry. That's why I said, do not worry too much about analysis. Worry about your presentation. But at the same time, guys, we cannot, just because we are saying that we need to prioritize oral fluency and pronunciation, doesn't mean that we can neglect content score. Because if your content is very weak, you will start losing speaking scores also. But we have a very easy approach. Let's look what is Pearson actually asking from us. Pearson is asking, in order to get good content score, you have to describe all the elements, yeah, all the important points, and then you have to build relationships between them, possible development of the ideas, and coming up with a conclusion. Those are the requirements. Get all the points, build relationships between them, develop the ideas, and come up with a conclusion. Now, let me give you a demonstration, okay? Demonstration of, let's say, what your so-called experts will give you advice on, or let's say YouTube will teach you. I don't want you to do that, but let me give you an example, okay? So let's say I'm trying to describe my mobile phone, okay? Let me describe my mobile phone, all right? And I'm gonna talk about some of the features of this mobile, okay? But I'm not gonna go deep inside. I'm just gonna talk about the features based on what is in front of me. Okay, so this is a mobile phone. Yeah, this is a mobile phone, and the mobile phone is it's got a large screen, and the screen is black color. There is a camera at the top. Yep, there is a back cover, right? There are some buttons on the side, and there is a charging port, and then there is a speaker. Right? These are the features of this phone. Now, I have just given you some information about this mobile. So let me give it to you again. This is a mobile phone. It has a screen which is black. It has camera which is at the top. It has a back cover. It has some buttons on the side. It has a charging port, and it has a speaker grill. Thank you. Now, do you think I have described this mobile phone? Maybe I did, maybe not, I don't know. Let's find out what Pearson is telling us. Pearson is telling us you have to describe all the elements of the image. That's number one, which I did. I described all the elements, yeah? But it is also telling us you have to build relationship between them, develop the ideas. Where did I build the relation and develop? I just said, this is the mobile, this is the camera, this is the screen, I have only described the elements. What about relationship building? Did I do that? No. Did I develop the ideas? No. Did I come up with the conclusion implication? No, I did not. But I need to do that. So, just simplicity is not enough, maybe. That is the reason why we have a template, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? We have a template for describe image, which does all the heavy lifting for you. It does everything for you. All you simply have to do is find out those elements, the same elements that you just said. Same thing. Instead of saying this is a mobile, how about the given image provides information related to a mobile? There you go. It sounds a bit descriptive, right? Then comes, instead of saying I can see the screen, I can see the camera. No. How about this? Additionally, it provides information related to the screen and the camera. I am saying literally the same thing, but my language, descriptive. Yeah? Are you guys following me online? Do you get the reasoning?
Yes.
Then,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then you wanted to analyze, right? Some of you, what if I have to do this? What if I want to do this? Do it. So instead of saying, I can see the screen which is black in color and the camera which is at the top, just say, moreover, the most important aspect is related to the screen which is black in color and the camera which is at the top. You literally said the same thing, but the way you said it, all of a sudden, is building the relationship and possibly developing the ideas. So the kind of language you choose to describe an image, it matters because you're following the marking criteria. And then you add one or two more features, aspects, important points. Furthermore, another important aspect is related to the buttons and the charging port. And then you come up and wrap it up instead of saying, oh, this is very informative. Don't do that. Don't be too daft. So you say, to conclude the information provided by the image, the significance of the camera and the screen is crucial to the mobile. What you've done is you've just described the image. At the same time, you've followed the marking rubrics. Now guys, I also want you to tell you another benefit of using this template. And that is, remember we already said we wanted to talk for about 30 to 35 seconds, right? If you simply read these 5 sentences, you are already reaching about 20 to 25 seconds. Those features would help you to reach 30 to 35. That's number one. Number two, you don't have to think anymore. Once you have memorized the template, you are already naturally flowing. Yeah, because if you have to think, I can see there is a camera. I can also say, when you do that, you will stutter. That breaks your flow. But when you memorize the template, it is simple enough to flow. Okay. So guys, 3 features. Number 1, it helps you with the time. Number 2, you don't have to think of language. Number 3, it helps you with getting the content score also. Hopefully the explanation part is good enough. Now let's go and let's talk about real-time application of the template. And I want you guys all to participate and stay with me, okay? So that it becomes easy for you to use the template, okay? So for an example, when I say I want you guys to participate, I mean unmute yourself and stay with me. So what's this?
Favorite type of movies.
It's a pie chart, right? It's a pie chart. What's this pie chart about?
Favorite types of movie.
Guys, online guys, let me just tell you again. I want you guys all to engage with me. So I would recommend you to participate and keep yourself unmuted. Yeah. You guys are all adults. All right, so this pie chart is about favorite type of movies, right? Now, guys, all the mathematical graphs, yeah, pie chart, line graph, bar graph, and all that stuff, it will definitely have a title, the headline. That headline becomes the first part of your response. You say the given image provides information related to favorite type of movies. That's it. Okay, simples. If you do not get the title, you just choose any of the subcategories as your title. The given image provides information related to comedy. Done. That is the reason why we use the word related to instead of saying is about. When I say is about, it is pinpointing, yeah, it is about comedy, but it is not just about comedy. If I say related to comedy, it makes the connection. Do you guys see the connections here?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Now, second sentence, all I need to do is find out or choose 2 to 3 features. Features as aspects, any 2 to 3. Additionally, it provides information related to comedy, action, and romance. Do it, whatever you choose. Okay, any 3, whichever is easy for you to say. 2 or 3, doesn't even have to be 3, 2 or 3, okay? Then comes the third sentence. Now the third sentence template says, look for numbers, color, direction associated with the main aspect. Now it is suggesting that I choose 2 aspects, yeah? 2 of them. Now it could be 1 or 2, whatever you want to decide you can choose. I would recommend 2. And associate some feature along with that aspect. So for an example, common sense tells us that something that is important, ideally
romance and action.
The highest and lowest, maybe the highest and second highest, but there is no given rule that you have to do it. My recommendation, choose anything that is easy for you and associate the figure or the color or the number with it. So for an example, I say, moreover, the most important aspect is related to comedy, which is 20%, and action, which is 25%. Done. You could have said, moreover, the most important aspect is related to romance, which is blue in color, and comedy, which is red in color. Do it, because that is the feature, that is the aspect, the feature associated with the aspect, right? Now, as I already told you, when you get numbers, associate the numbers, okay? Try and do that, otherwise go with color, doesn't matter, okay? Now, just because romance is 30%, do I have to choose it? No. What is important to you may not be important to me, right? So you choose whatever, I don't care. Is everyone clear? Any questions?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. Then furthermore sentence, again, easy life. Just choose 2 more features. 2 more features. Furthermore, another important aspect is related to drama and sci-fi. Oh, sorry, sci-fi. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Are you guys with me? Yeah, good stuff. Then conclusion is even more easy. All you have to do is either choose anything you said before, or you choose anything that is new, or you choose whatever you care to fill up those 2 gaps. And that's it, end of story. To conclude the information provided by the image, the significance of comedy and action is crucial to the image. Now, you might be thinking, I think whatever I'm saying, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter, because the template itself has already taken care of the semantics of things. Okay, It has already taken care of the semantics of things. So if I were to describe the whole thing again, and you can all try with me as well. Let's start together in 3, 2, 1, go.
The given image provides information related
to your favorite type of movies. Additionally,
extra information related to
comedy
and action.
Or
the most important aspect related to comedy is 30% and
comedy
is 25%.
another important aspect is related to drama and
Furthermore, another important aspect related to drama and
significance of sci-fi and
romance.
Information provided by the image.
Guys, you see, this is not a describe image anymore for you, okay? What is this? Fill in the gaps. You've got some gaps to fill up. Fill it up with any information that you have. So let's try one more, shall we? Yeah.
Yes.
We have a question here. So let's say if you choose metro, which is 42%, car, which is 11%, or bike, which is 20%. Okay. Be ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
The given image provides information related to preferred
mode of commuting.
information related to
car and bike. However, the most important aspect is related to metro, which is 42%, and car, which is 11%. Furthermore, another important aspect is related to local bus. To conclude, the information provided by the image, the significance of local bus and bike.
Local bus. Include the information provided by the image. Significance of metro and bike is crucial to the image.
Now, well done, guys. Now, the second, I have two pie charts, 2 diagrams. Now, all of a sudden, do I have 2 minutes to speak?
No,
I still have 30 seconds, right? I still have the same template, right? As you can see. So the gaps you fill up, I do not care where you choose your information from. Your job is not to analyze and cover every single corner of this image. Am I clear in saying that? Your task is not that. That is IELTS. That is not this. Your task is to demonstrate your speaking skills. That's number 1. Number 2, every single sentence should contain some kind of content from the image, nothing from your own. Don't say beautiful picture, I have 40, blah, blah. Don't say all that because it doesn't have any information from the image. The sentences that you are speaking, choose anything. So you can say, moreover, the most important aspect is related to Apple, which is 55% in 2009, and Samsung, which is 35% in 2019. You can say it, I don't care. You want to say, moreover, the most important aspect is related to Apple, which is blue, and Samsung, which is orange. Say it, I don't care. Moreover, the most important aspect is related to Apple, which is 55%, and Samsung, which is 33%. Say it. Moreover, the most important aspect is related to Apple, which is 55%, and Samsung, which is 20%. Say it. I don't care. But what I care about is you cannot hesitate. You cannot go. Moreover, the most important aspect is related to Apple, which is, sorry, I will kill you if you do that. Now, the good news is, before you start speaking, you will get 25 seconds, okay? In that 25 seconds, you can decide what information you want to choose to fill up those gaps. Am I clear? So I give you 10 seconds now, not 25. So decide what are the information you are going to choose, especially for moreover sentence, because that's where you need figures and facts. All right, here we go. Please unmute yourself, all of you. In 3, 2, 1, describe.
The given image provides information related to global programs in Australia, 2009 and 2019. Additionally, it provides information related to Samsung, Apple, and
the most important aspect
moreover, the important aspect is related to Samsung, which is 42% in 2019, and Apple, which is 33% in 2019. Moreover, another important aspect is related to type of phones. To conclude, the information provided by the image, the significance of Samsung and Apple is crucial to the image.
Okay. Are we all on the same page, guys?
Yeah.
Easy, easy. Now, let's say I get a bar graph. Story does not change. Story is still the same. So I have brown, red, white. Yeah. Moreover, the most important aspect is brown, which is the biggest, and orange, which is the smallest. Or you can say brown, which is close to 0.25, and orange, which is close to 0.5. You can say red, which is close to 0.2, and yellow, which is close to 0.15. Do you get it? Brown, which is at the left-hand side, orange, which is at the right-hand side. I don't care. There. As long as every single sentence that you say has information from the image. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a shot, guys. 3, 2, 1, describe.
The given image provides information related to colors and their frequencies. Additionally, it provides information related to brown, red, blue, and yellow. However, the information expect is related to sound, which is very high, and frequency, which is very low. Another expect is related to frequency. To conclude the information provided by the image, the significance of brown and red is crucial.
Yellow of brown, red, yellow is crucial to the subject matter.
Crucial to the image. So just let's delete this. Okay. All right. Now, let's say I have a life cycle. Now, this one doesn't have highest or lowest, right? There is no percentage. There is no color. Hey, you can go with the direction, which is the first stage, which is the last stage. Yeah. Moreover, the most important aspect is related to eggs, which is the first step, and frog, which is the last step. You could have said egg, which is at the top, and tadpole with 4 legs, which is at the bottom. Frog, which is at the left, tadpole, which is at the right. Again, I don't care. Even if you say, moreover, the most important aspect is frog and tadpole, that is also fine. You don't want to say which is, that is also fine. All I need is you to demonstrate your speaking skills using the template and using information which is from the image. Nothing beautiful picture, nothing like that. Okay. All right, here we go. Starting again. 3.
The given image provides
all start together. All start together.
The given image provides information related to the life cycle of a frog. Additionally, it provides information related to eggs and most important aspect is related to tadpole with 2 legs and tadpole with 4 legs. So another important aspect is related to frog and egg. To conclude the information provided by the image, the significance of eggs and embroidery is crucial to the image.
Okay, someone is starting very late, guys. I think there's a lag, that's why. Okay, let's say I have a map. Now this map has very few information. Who cares? Moreover, the most important aspect is related to 99 to 100%, which is red, and less than 80%, which is green. Can you do that much?
Yeah.
Do it. Or you want to say, moreover, the most important aspect is 2010 population, which is 6.8 billion, and 2010 world literacy rate, which is 85%. Do it. The idea is to go with the flow. Additionally, it provides information related to 99 to 100% and 95 to 98.9%. Do it, whatever comes up. That's why I say that 25 seconds you have to prepare. Choose these ones, what you want to fill up your blanks with. Okay, so here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1, start.
The given image provides information related to literacy rates. Information related to population 2010, population 2010. Moreover, the most important aspect related to it is 99% to 100% and 49 to
less than 80%, which is furthermore another important aspect.
Another important information is related to
significant
information the image, the information provided by
population is crucial to the image.
Okay, awesome, guys. You see, life is easy. You are not doing a describe image anymore. You are doing a fill in the blanks. Okay, you're doing a fill in the blanks. Here we go. You have 10 seconds to do it. I will tell you when to start. Just quickly decide. Moreover, I'll say Facebook, which is 80%, and LinkedIn, which is 100%. The others are easy. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, describe.
The given image provides information related to social media usage. Additionally, provides information related to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. The most important aspect is related to LinkedIn, which is 100%, Facebook, which is 80%. Furthermore, another important aspect is related to Twitter. To conclude the information provided by the image, the significance of Facebook and LinkedIn is crucial to the image.
Is crucial to
Well done, guys. Now, let's say I get an image like this. This one doesn't have a headline, as you can see, right? Now, quickly look into it, and within 2 to 3 seconds, what do you think this image is about?
Solar system.
Someone said planet, someone said solar system, someone said universe. Whatever you perceive this galaxy, whatever you think this image is about, you start your title with that. The given image provides information related to planets, okay? Obviously, this is a solar system, by the way. Now, if you cannot make a decision with that, what do? Just say, if you have a brain freeze like me, just say the given image provides information related to Jupiter, okay? Just choose any of the subcategories as your title. You will still be okay. And then life is easy. Jupiter, which is the biggest, Mercury, which is the smallest. Jupiter, which is at the left, Neptune, which is at the right, whatever you do, yeah? Here we go, 3, 2, 1, describe.
The given image provides information related to planet. Additionally, it provides information related to Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. Moreover, the most important aspect is related to Mercury, which is smaller in size, and Jupiter, which is larger in size. Another important aspect is related to Saturn, which is ring in its outer side. Moreover, the information provided by the image, the significance of Jupiter and Earth is crucial to the image.
Jupiter and Saturn is crucial to the image.
Okay, now let's say I have an image with very few information. Do you need to get scared about? No, I already told you, if you have less information, you speak less, but you still fill up your template. Not a problem. So give me 2 or 3 features. What do you see from this?
Battery and bulb.
You can see battery, bulb. Anything else? The direction. Direction. That's it. More than enough. Thank you. I have the title and I have 3 information. Who said you cannot repeat? Nobody said that, right? Because that is the only thing that's left. The given image provides information related to simple circuit with light. Additionally, it provides information related to bulb and battery. Moreover, the most important aspect is related to the bulb, which is at the left, and battery, which is at the right. Furthermore, another important aspect is related to the direction. To conclude the information provided by the image, the significance of bulb and the battery is crucial to the image. If I have less information, I will say less. Do you need to stress now?
No.
Okay. Life is easy when it comes to describe image. Now, what is difficult today, or actually it's easy, is because the template is in front of you, right? You have to memorize the template first. That is your first requirement, guys, okay? So, I want you to quickly take a screenshot of, where is it? Take a screenshot of the template now. Keep in mind that this template has to be in your brain, not in your mobile, not anywhere else, in your mind, okay? I can also show you.
Can we write it down in a paper?
You don't need to, you can, but you don't need to. I will show you where you can find it later on.
Okay. It's all the template.
I will show you. Allow me just 1 second, patience. When you go to Live Class Portal, under PT Materials,
by the image,
under PT Materials, if you scroll down, it says all templates by PT Study Center. Did you see? There you go. Your describe image template is also there. So guys, you don't need to write it down, or you do not need to do anything. It is already provided to you there. Okay. So you can write it in your own sweet time when you want. Okay. Describe image template is also here. Okay. So please make sure you memorize the template, and then just over here, similarly, you see describe image self-practice master file, just like read aloud. Please use this master file to practice 30-40 questions for you to be comfortable with, okay? If you get confused, I don't think so anyone should be confused anymore. There is a file right here, it says with template key. Have a read through that file. There's 70-80 sample answers there, so that you can get a bit more idea. But I think it's already explained enough for you. You shouldn't be worried about anymore. Is everyone clear?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, before we wrap this class up, I just want to quickly take 1 or 2 minutes to go through answer short question. Answer short question is the very last question item on your speaking module. You will be solving 10 to 12 answer short questions. This is how your screen is going to look like when you get to the answer short question. Okay, you will get 3 seconds. You'll have to well, obviously get ready, and then after this 3 seconds is over, a question will be played to you. Okay. Now that question would be general knowledge based, trivia like question, pop quiz question. Please make a note. You will have to provide the answer after the question has finished, and you have to provide the answer immediately. There is no beep tone. Like your describe image and read aloud. Answer short question does not have any beep tone, so you don't have to wait for anything. The recorder automatically comes live as soon as the question has finished. Now keep in mind, if you wait for more than 3 seconds, what happens? The recorder gets cut off, right? So you have to provide the answer within 1 or 2 seconds, okay? Now the answer is a one-word answer. You understand? One-word answer. In some cases, it may be accompanied with an article or a phrase. Half of the questions are optional. Is it this or is it that? You just have to choose one. Now, guys, what you must also understand is that answer short question, even though there are 10 to 12 of them, they are not important. Okay? You see, in fact, answer short question, guys, please keep yourself muted if you have some noise. So answer short question, you see, there is no oral fluency and pronunciation scores either because it's a very short answer, one-word answer, right? However, there is vocabulary enabling skills attached with it. It's not so much, but there is some marks. Answer short question also impacts your listening scores, okay? So it generates scores for both speaking and listening. But the good news is answer short question does not have that much contribution. So if I go and check with the scoring matrix right here, guys, let me just quickly show you listening. You see, answer short question doesn't contribute anything, maybe 1% of your score, okay? If I check up the speaking, you see it contributes maybe 1 to 3%. So as you can understand, even though there are 10 to 12 questions, it does not have any marks. So I don't want you to panic, okay? But nonetheless, you can still provide the correct answer if you want. Now, the good news is you don't necessarily have to. If you don't know, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. Once you listen to the question, if you know the answer, straight away say the answer in one word or in a phrase. With article, sorry, not with a phrase, in an article. If you don't know the answer, you can either guess the answer or you can simply say pass. Now, guessing the answer and giving a wrong answer or saying a pass is not going to give you any score. But at least it's not a blank response. Pearson doesn't like blank response because it reflects poorly in your overall score. Even though overall score is not, it doesn't matter, but still, it will always be a good thing for you to take a chance rather than, going brain dead for 3 seconds and not saying anything. Okay. Ideally, you want to get the right answer, but the impact is not much. Okay. Please do not take it up as a personal challenge that it is something that you need to be ashamed of if you don't know the answer. Okay. You just have to be smart enough, have the presence of mind and present your work, or let's say provide an answer. Okay. So guys, what I want you to do is let's quickly do a couple of questions. Please unmute yourself. All of you, please unmute yourself. I want your answers immediately. Okay. I want your answers immediately. So listen to my question and answer me immediately. Okay. Listen to this. What is the capital of Australia?
Canberra.
Canberra.
Sydney.
Canberra.
Okay, so someone said Sydney. I think we have to answer straight away. Okay, even if you say Sydney, doesn't matter. You have to answer it straight away, not after 3 seconds, because if you say it after 3 seconds, it's not recorded. The correct answer is Canberra, of course, but if you don't know the answer, you can guess. I don't care. Let me ask you another question. Be prepared to answer straight away. What is the capital of Malaysia?
Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur.
Okay, so most of us, we know the answer. Some of us, if we don't know, simply say pass. You can guess, but if you cannot guess, just say pass also. I don't want blank response. Okay, so now I'm playing your question for answer short question. Listen to the question, please. And provide the answer immediately, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
What type of graph is a circle divided into sectors?
Pie chart.
Pie chart.
Not hear the question. What do you do? Yeah, pass. There we go. That's presence of mind. That is, ladies and gentlemen, presence of mind. You could not hear the question. That's fine. I need an answer. Here we go. Another question, guys. 3, 2, 1.
In which direction does the sun set?
West.
I don't know. You say north, south, east, west. I don't care. Just say something, okay? Obviously, everyone's correct. Good job. It is west. Now, some of the questions might come with an image, like this one. Can you see your screen right now?
Yeah.
So the question that I'm playing, it is going to be based on the image. Now, you might be confused. I'm telling you already. But what am I looking for? I'm looking for an answer. Obviously, yes. Obviously, don't be too spontaneous to say pass. Listen to the question carefully and try to understand the question. Okay. Listen and understand the question. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
According to the image, what was the trend of cigarette consumption from 1900 to 2009?
60%.
50%.
Yeah, guys, you cannot take your own sweet time, okay? You have to provide a response immediately. So they are asking, what is the trend? Half of you are saying 50%. Do you understand the meaning of the word trend? Yeah, it's increasing, decreasing, fluctuating, something like that, right? So listen to the question carefully, okay? I'm giving you another image. This question is based on this image. Listen to this. 3, 2, 1.
What is the final stage of the writing process?
Publishing.
Publishing.
Revising.
Yeah, it is publishing and revising. Yeah. Now, one last question. Listen to this quickly. It's not based on the image, but just listen to the question carefully. 3, 2, 1.
What is the opposite of vertical?
Horizontal.
Good job, guys. I think you understand what needs to be done. So what I'm asking you to do is, basically, if you know the answer, please provide the answer. Ideally, I want the correct answer. If you don't know the answer, provide a response rather than having a blank response. Okay. The good news is, on your live class portal under PT materials, if you scroll down, what you'll find out is it says answer short question 418 and revision. So we've got a question bank of answer short questions, about 450 to 500 questions with answers. Okay. It's just a script. The good news is, if you go through that script, maybe most of the question in your exam is going to come from this file. Okay. It's a lot of questions, right? Now, it is not a lot. When you start revising or reading this, it will literally take you about 45 minutes to an hour to read it. Okay. You don't have to read it now, but maybe read it just at the end or as you get close to the exam. Okay. So, and that's it, guys. That's the end of the session for today. Before we wrap things up, do you have any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask now. Otherwise, have a very good evening, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.